Hello guys, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to our Dart programming language course. I hope you all are fine. So our chapter 3 has been completed. Now in today's tutorial we are going to solve our practice exercise. The first question is write a program in Dart to print your own name using function. Right, we need to create a function and we will print our name by using that function. Let me open VS Code and show you practically. Here we need to create a new function here. We can give a name, print name like this, and here we will simply use print statement and print our name like this. And here we need to simply call our print name function like this. Let me test it. Here you can see the output. That is very simple. The next one is write a program in Dart to print even numbers between intervals using function. Let me show you. So in this question we will print even numbers between 50 and 100, right, by using function. Let me create a function here. Void function. We can give a name print even numbers. This is our function name, and here we can print even numbers between 50 and 100 by using loop. We can use for loop, right? Let me use it for, and we will start our loop from 51, right, because we want to print all the even numbers between 50 and 100, right, like this. Here we will use condition I is less than or equal to 100 and I plus plus like this. Now here we will use the condition if I mod of 2 is equal to 0, then we will print that number I, right? This is the function. Now simply we need to call this function print even numbers like this. Now it will print all the even numbers between 50 and 100. Here you can see the output, right? That is very simple. The next one is create a function called greet that takes a name as an argument and prints greeting message, for example, like this. Now simply we need to create a function here, greet. Now we will create function here, void greet, and here we will add one parameter, string type name. Simply we need to print hello name like this, and then we need to call this function greet and pass the name like this. This is very simple. Here you can see the output. The next one is write a program in Dart that generate random password, right? So here we will use our math library because we need to generate random number. Import Dart math like this. Now let me remove it. Here we will generate random password. Int password random dot next int. Here we will create a random password, for example within the range of 10,000 like this, and here we can print our password like this. Now let me test it. Here you can see our password is 2593. Every time it will generate a new password. If I run it again, it will generate different password. Here you can see this time it is 1740. So this is the solution of this question. The next one is write a program in Dart that find the area of a circle using function formula pi r square. Let me show you. Now here we will calculate area by using pi r square. First of all, let me store value of pi double pi 3.1415 like this, and we can make it constant because this is constant value like this. Now we can use it in formula. The formula is pi r square. Here for example we have value of r, we can, for example, this is 30, right? Now here we will use the formula. The formula is pi r square, pi into r square. In order to find the square of r, we will use POW function of the math, right? Library math. Here we will use r, and exponential here we will use 2 because we need to find square like this, and we will store this into our variable result num result, right, like this, and simply we can print our result like this result. Now let me run the program and show you the output. Here you can see the output, right? This is our area. The next one is write a program in Dart to reverse a string using function, right? Let me show you. First of all let me create a function here, name it as reverse. We will pass a string into our function and it will reverse our string, name it as text like this. We already discussed in our previous chapter. Now we will use it again. Here we will create a variable string reversed, right? And here we will reverse our strings text dot split. We already discussed it in our previous chapter. It is simple, split dot reversed, right? Reversed and join like this. This is the way we can reverse our string in Dart language, and simply we can return reversed string like this. And there is another thing we need to use here, return type string instead of void, because we are going to return string like this. Now if I call my function here reverse, and here we need to pass a string, for example hello, so it will reverse our string, but we need to print this. Here I need to create a variable result, and I can print this in print result. Now it will print hello to reverse. Here you can see this is the reverse form of hello. This is the simple way we can reverse any string by using function. The next one is write a program in Dart to calculate power of certain number. For example 5 power 3 1 to 5. This is very simple. Let me show you. Remove it like this. For example we have a number n5, right? We want to calculate its power 3. We can simply use POW function of Dart library n, and here exponential will be 3, right? And simply we can store its value into num result like this, and we can print our result by using print result $sign result like this. Let me show you. Here you can see the output. This is simple. We can find power for any other number. For example number is 8 and its power we want 4. Now you will see output. Here is the output. This is very simple. Next one is write a function in Dart named add that takes two numbers as arguments and return their sum, right? This is simple. We need to create our function, name it as add, and it will return a result. So a result will be in integer, so data type of function will be integer. name will be add, and two numbers are a and b, like this. Simply we can return a plus b, the sum of two numbers, and we can print its result. Print add 10 and 20, for example. Now you will see output 30. This is very simple, we already discussed it, right? The next one is write a function in dot called max number that takes three numbers as arguments and returns the largest number, right? This is very important. Let me show you. First of all, we will create here a function. Its data type will be int because we need to return largest number, right? The name of function will be max number. For example, there are three arguments, a, int b, int c, because we need to compare three numbers, right? Like this. So we already discussed how to find large number between two numbers, right? This is very simple, but this time numbers are 3. So first of all we will compare a and b, right? And we will find greater number between a and b. And when we find greater number between a and b, then we will compare its result with c, right? This is very simple. Now first of all let me compare a and b. Int large max, we will use function max of library math. A and b, we will use a and b. It will tell us which number is greater, a or b. We will get this number here, right? And then we will compare this large number with c, right? Simply let me show you. Large, here max number, large and c, right? And result will be stored in again in large, and at the end we will return this large. In this way we will get our large number. Now here let me call max number function. Here first of all let me pass three numbers, 10, 20 and 30, right? We need to store a result in our variable result, and at the end we will print greater number is result. Now let me test it. Here you can see it is printing 30, greater number is 30. If I change its value to 60, now it will print 60 is greater number, right? You can see. And now if I change it to 100, here you can see it is printing 100 is greater number, right? So this is the way we can find greater number between three numbers, right? The next one is write a function in dot called is even that takes a number as an argument and returns true if the number is even and false otherwise. Now let me create a function here. Simply because we need to return a result in false or true, so its return type will be boolean. Boolean is even, and here we need to pass a number, for example n, right? Here we will check if number mod 2 is equal to 0, then this number is even. We need to return true, right? Otherwise we need to return false, right? Like this. And here we will use it is even, and we will pass, for example, 10, right? So this function will give us a result as boolean. We need to store a result like this, and simply we can print this result like this. Let me test it. Here you can see it is printing true because 10 is even number. If I pass here 5, then it will show result as false because 5 is odd number, right? So this is the way. The next one is write a function in dot called create user with parameters name, age and is active, right? Where is active has a default value of true. This is very useful. Let me show you. Now here we will create our function create user. Its data type is void because it returns nothing, right? Create user. This is a function. It has three parameters, right? Name, age and is active. But is active has a default value, right? So there are two ways to assign a default value to any parameter. First one is we need to use named argument. We need to use named parameter, right? First of all, let me show you with named parameter. For named parameter, we need to use required string name, right? And required integer age. But our third parameter has a default value, right? That is why we don't need to use required keyword, right? Boolean is active. Its default value is true, right? Like this. Now here simply we can print user created, because we don't need to print name, age, etc. because we have only requirement to create a function, name it as create user and pass three values name, age and is active. But is active will have default value true, right? Like this. Now simply we can call this function create user. Here let me pass a name Ahad and age 23, right? This time we don't need to pass is active because it has default value, right? Here you can see the output user created. So this was the first method. Now let me show you with another method. So here we use named argument or name parameter, right? Here we will use positional parameter. Void create user like this, string name, integer age, and here we cannot use directly like this is active and its default value, right? We cannot use it. Let me remove this function and remove this one. Here you can see it is showing error. We cannot use our default values for any parameter like this, right? If we want to use it, we need here a list, right? We need to create here a list, and inside list we can use it. Bool is active and its default value is true, like this. So this is the method we can use. Now simply we can print user created like this, and here we can call it create user and pass our values like this 23 here. Here you can see it is working fine. I hope you understand. It is default value, right? If we want to replace it, we can use it here. We can pass here. If I pass here false, it will replace the value of true with false, right? I hope you understand. The last one is write a function in Dart called calculate area that calculates the area of a rectangle. It should take length and width as arguments with default value of 1 for both. The formula is given. Area is equal to length into width. Now let me show you. Let me create a function calculate area, right? And here we need to pass two parameters, height and width, right? But height and width both have default value 1, right? So we will use both parameters inside list here, right? List and int height is equal to 1 and width is equal to 1, like this. Here simply we can calculate area, num area height multiply by width, like this, and we can print area is area like this. Here we can call it calculate area, right? Because they both have default values, that is why we don't need to pass any value. That is why it is not necessary to pass both values. Let me test it. Its output is 1, right? If we want to pass values, we can pass it here, for example 13 and 44. Now it will show area. Here you can see it is working fine, right? Here we use a positional parameters, right? Now we can do same thing with named parameter, right? Void calculate area. Now I will use named argument. Here I will use curly braces and int height is equal to 1 and int width is equal to 1, like this. And I can print area. I can directly print area and height multiplied by width, like this. Now here we need to pass named parameter, height 55, width 898. Here you can see the output, right? So this is the way we can calculate area. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. If you have any problem in this exercise, you can contact me. Now our chapter 3 has been completed. Now we will start our chapter 4 in our next tutorial. Okay, good luck.